What's good, my people? We are back again for another one on this Mystelics reactions. I was gonna do this video on the vlog channel, but I realized it's a reaction. I'm gonna be reacting to a number of what individuals have to say, and as well give you a basic understanding of how this whole thing unfolded right there, and as well as speaking about the whole airport situation and this kind of things, because a lot of people are posting on Facebook and they have absolutely no idea what on earth they are talking about. So I'm gonna be breaking down some of that stuff to you guys right there and then. But before I get into that, I want to make sure that this person right there, I want to know who this person is, because apparently this person is being interesting right there and then. This is what the person said. So Mystelics thinks he's a big bad wolf. Lol. There's nothing funny about being a big bad wolf. However, this person is interesting to me right there, that this person actually liked this stuff in this regard. If the person sees this video, they'll understand why I'm saying this right there. So this is very, very interesting indeed. But this person, guys, this person came under my post. There's one thing for you to say something on your post, right? And there's no names associated, whatever. It's okay. I will talk about that in a moment. But this person came under my post and was speaking to me, right? Stating, you better watch what you say on Facebook and your vlogs now, dude. It's not over yet. You will run your mouth and we will come back for you and deal with you accordingly. This is why I want to get I want to know who this individual is. I'm hearing that this person is using a fake account, and I also found out that this person is most likely a police officer. So that is also even worse for that person. The reason why I want to get this is strictly for legal reasons right there, guys. I would really, really love to find out who this person is. I'm getting some information, which is a good thing right there. I also heard, well, based off when we track back on this thing, I think it was the person made that remark on a phone or a tablet. They kind of associated closely to each other. So that is very interesting right there. Very, very interesting indeed. I will watch my back. Okay, all right then. So please, guys, if you know who this individual is, let me know. Hit me up on my email is actually in the contact information, so you guys can definitely do so, or hit me up on Facebook and let me know. We'll do some tracking as well of this particular individual. Now, I actually had this thing right there. Stupid people comment. Now, while I was in the police station upstairs, guys, I actually had my phone. I was hearing a number of persons saying a number of crazy stuff as well. So I actually messaged a number of persons to screenshot, because I wanted to see what some of the individuals had to say out there, to screenshot some of the stuff that individuals were saying. And the reason being, because I also want to take some legal actions when it comes down to certain people and what they have to say. I got Instagram screenshots from individuals. I got WhatsApp stories WhatsApp stories stuff, as well as Facebook. So I have about 376 posts of individuals saying things that is very interesting. But we're not going to be dealing with this. I'm actually going to be sending this. I sent it to see if we can get some form of thing against certain people who actually use my name in their story. This guy, of course, is very interesting because he mentioned you and he was talking about my post. I won't say much about this, so let me leave that right there and there. Now, guys, in the terms of a lot of people saying I shouldn't be doing social media and I should stay off social media and this kind of things there, I understand why you guys are saying this. But I'm not the kind of person that people, and I'm not the kind of person that will just come out. I know exactly what I need to say and what I can't say, so that nothing gets screwed up or misconstrued, or things that they can actually utilize to say against me. I know all these things that they're looking for. I also know that a number of police officers are also watching this year vlogs, the reactions as well, because they actually told me that they watch my videos and stuff. Some of them actually met. Some of them were pretty cool. But there's a particular individual, the security guard, the dog of Skerrit, the security dog guard by the gate, the dog guard, I should say. He's of very much interest to me, and I will, I'll leave that there right now. Now, guys, I actually have a number of things, but I want to focus on two of the most popular people who were saying a lot of interesting things. One of them being Sam. Now, Sam, I know, is a guy who should be smart. He should be an individual who's critically thinking about certain situations. Apparently, he lost that when he stated his foolishness right there. You can't be playing James Bond with drone over man property. The PM lives in the area. They have embassies in the area, so these places are obviously sensitive areas. You can't do them stunt near the White House or anywhere a head of state government lives. Come on, man, father. Lucky here ain't got draconian national security laws. In other places, that is serious fines, jail time, do play starring. Now, that is a very interesting post right there, but the fact that he mentioned you can't be playing James Bond with drone over man property, that is riddled with a lot of idiocracy and stupidity when you do not know exactly what has happened. It is important that you stay quiet. I believe there's a proverb that says it's important to stay quiet and be thought of as a fool than to open your mouth and remove all doubt that you are a fool. This here shows me that Sam most likely might be a fool. Now, in regard to the whole situation right there, guys, I had to shoot a video in Dubla. Now, my whole reason that day was to do a video in Dubla, but the person I was linked up with, I was contracted to do a video in Mont Daniel for a lady and a house that they actually had right there. Lady, I think it was a lady, yeah. A lady. I'm not sure, I don't care who. I was contracted to do a video of that house, and I went to do that video so that I can go back, get my tire, go back down Portsmouth so I can do Dubla, and then go back down Portsmouth so I can just do one thing one time. So I went to do this, and apparently I didn't go back down. So that is what actually happened right there. I did. In fact, when I reached, I had no idea where the Prime Minister's establishment was. I didn't care to know much about where it was. One of the things that I wanted to do was to also do I wanted to do a number of places. Mont Daniel was one of them. Irregardless of if the Prime Minister lived there or not, you have to understand that it simply does not matter. It doesn't matter at all. Unless if I'm really focused on this area or doing something there, then that would actually matter. But I had no care about this. I went to do this lady property. We were doing the whole thing. Man, we'll be doing a number of shots of that lady's house or that property, and of course I had to do the aerial of the surrounding as well to let the person know, you know, what the area is like and whatnot. It just so happened that the PM residence was about less than 100 feet away, and of course it was within that vicinity right there. So I will leave it as that right there. So that is what happened. Nobody was playing James Bond. I have never seen James Bond fly a drone. I could be wrong, but I have never seen James Bond fly a drone, so I don't know what you're really saying right there. Now, there's a number of other persons as well. This individual said, "Thank you, Sam. I couldn't have said it better." So I guess that person is agreeing with this foolishness, making that person also stupid as well. You said, "Well said. Dominicans too bold and want to play victim after." I just went to shoot a lady's house, man, and the surrounding region of that house. That was pretty much it. If I wanted to do Mont Daniel in its entirety, I would have done that. But anyways, yeah, that person, interesting that, oh, by the way, it's interesting to see that he got 55 thumbs up in this regard. But of course, foolish always inspires more foolishness in this regard, and apparently there's more foolish people out there than those who actually critically think for themselves. That person also said, "Well, what you said makes sense. Where's the legal, that's a good question right there. Where's the legislation? What does anyone know for exactly what they are arrested? We had no idea what we were arrested for. In fact, we were not arrested until when we decided to walk down from the vacuum. We left to go to police station with them on our own accord because they said they still doing their investigation, and I wanted my drone back from them. So I let them do their thing. I wanted them to give me back my drone. We went with them down to the police station, and of course we were upstairs and everything. I called my lawyer and everything. We went downstairs, and as a result of that whole situation, when we were leaving, and this is pretty much a lot of, well, people know it, so that's why I'm saying it as well. I'm not saying anything that people wouldn't know. I'm only saying the things or reiterating the correct things that people have stated or are construed about in this regard. So when we were going downstairs, we were upstairs. I called the lawyer. My lawyer said to leave to see what happens. If you're not under arrest, we were not under arrest. Leave to see what happened. We went down there. As we were going, He said, are we under arrest? The lawyer was there. He asked the question for us to ask, what are we arrested for? That's what he said. And then they stated we are arrested for suspicion. They were not sure what to say. So they said suspicion of suspicion. And that is what we decide. That doesn't make sense, but they say we are arrested. So instead of causing any more turmoil, we stayed there and see what was the next step in this regard. So that pretty much encompasses the whole thing right there. So we were pretty much arrested for suspicion of suspicion in this regard, which makes no sense. It was only the next day they decided to, say we were arrested for espionage. That was never in the case. Nowhere. Only the next day we found that out. But yeah, that is the whole gist right there. Anyways, another person saying, gonna play devil's advocate. The country has no laws in play for drone flying, so technically they're not wrong. We were never wrong to begin with. I will talk about that in a moment based off what another person who apparently he flies drone but doesn't really know much about the very situation right there. I'll break that down and you guys will understand everything I'm saying right there. Well, the GPS system on a drone prohibits its height in the vicinity of the airport or approach. That is correct. The drone should not be flown. However, those buildings of such sensitive nature should not be in a densely housed area. I agree. Because Mount Daniel is a residential area. That is what Mount Daniel is. It's a residential area. So they shouldn't be there. They should be further away or somewhere else rather than being among people. Because if you're among people, people can come and do you damage there. They can come in, they can jump over the wall. I mean, I was passing there, I could see how much places that people could actually enter. There was even, when we were leaving, there were even Asian people coming up from the outside. And I was looking back, I said, yo, they can pass all kind of places apparently. Anyways, so it's not fully closed off. If they're talking about residential area and people can just access this thing going in and out, I mean, you have to be much more smarter than this in this regard right there. However, the GPS system on a drone prohibits its height in the vicinity of the airport or approach. That's wrong. That's correct, but that is only relative to the type of company that has the drone. DJI is one of the biggest companies out there and they have their systems in place. That doesn't mean that it's applicable to the country's laws or anything that has to do with policies in a country. I will talk about that in a moment. And to think people would defend that behavior indirectly or otherwise, that's based off Sam's thing. I actually just got some screenshots right there. If you call yourself a drone pilot, why not make it your duty to find out what does? We already knew the laws. There's no laws in Dominica in regards to any drone flying, and there should be no laws in terms of drone flying in Dominica, because one thing, when it comes down to drone laws, it is based off the international airport. I'll talk about that in a while. So let us move on. Lino should know better. He's a bright kid. Because I'm a bright kid and I do know better. This is my cousin right there. Big up yourself. I do know better. That's why I did better. One thing I always recommend to individuals is that you know your laws. You have to know the laws for yourself. Our laws is not based off any drone restrictions or anything like that. It's based off the laws of Dominica. It has absolutely nothing to do with drone restrictions of that company. I'll talk about that in a moment. Adelaide made a good thing right there. So where does the charge of espionage come in? That's a good question. To prove espionage, let me leave that there. Let me leave that there. But it has a lot to do with, selling stuff to foreign entities to ruin not the Prime Minister, but Dominica. Okay? So that is the basis of this whole thing right there. And apparently, Sam doesn't know much in this regard, so you can't blame him. You can't blame him too much. When you don't know much in this regard, you pretend as if you know much. And of course, a number of persons who do not know much as well will also like the nonsense that you're saying. 55 persons in this regard right there. Okay? That is interesting. Somebody also made something interesting. They stated it right there. The video that make the man decide to come for you. That has nothing to do with anything like that. There was a number of persons posting this up. I was the only one just reacting to it. So I guess they didn't come for the other people. They came for me. Interesting. So it has nothing to do with this right here. However, guys, this is Chad Ambo. He's also a fellow drone pilot, a person who flies drones. And he knows a little bit about drone flying. But that is where it's at for Chad. He knows how to fly drones. He doesn't know the whole speculation and the whole ruling system of drones. What Chad pointing out right there, saying Kingsfield Airport is a no-fly zone for drones. Red is the most restricted area where you shouldn't even attempt flying. Then height restrictions in areas further away. He's true about the height restrictions and everything. But notice something right there, guys. This is only applicable to DJI drones. This is not applicable to any other drones. Therefore, if this is not applicable to any other drones, why does DJI then have to make recommendations for other drones who are not theirs? My drone, I have a DJI. By the way, I actually had a DJI drone. Me and Chad had the same drone. He had the DJ Mavic. I had the DJ Mavic as well, the Pro. And his own had restrictions on it. My own didn't have restrictions on it. I didn't buy my drone. I was given the drone by DJI themselves because I have an aerial Dominica channel as well. I didn't buy any drone from DJI. I also went to some of the conferences that they actually had, teaching people about this very thing. This thing that you've seen right there, guys, started in California because people were flying their drones close to the international airport. You want to know why this thing is so big, guys? It's because this thing is an international layout. An international layout for an international airport. In fact, most airports in the United States do not have restrictions like this. They do not. Because this is only applicable for international airport. Right? This is why you see it stretches from Roseau to Maho. Right there. Big international airport, Big Sur. The little airport we have there should not even have a restriction on it. It should not have a restriction on it. However, DJI set this up for only DJI drones. And this was as a result of what was happening in California. People flying their drones to international airport space and whatnot. Logically thinking, you as a drone pilot should not fly in an airport vicinity. However, with the very system that there, I had a DJI drone and I could fly in there. My drone would not land. Why? Because they removed all the restrictions on the drone. I had my thing for about 1.5 years right there. All restrictions were removed. Persons could also remove their restrictions as well in this regard. This is not based off law, by the way, guys. There's no law, policy, legislation, nothing like that in terms of Dominica. Therefore, how does DJI regulation that they have for their products then adapt to Dominica's regulations, which has no regulation for this system right there? Therefore, if your drone lands because it lands, it's not as a result of Dominica laws. It lands because of DJI's regulation. Now, when my time was up, my drone was landing. Okay? So I know about this whole system right there. Like I said before, this is an international layup. There's no international airport. I think they should report this to DJI for them to take it out as well. However, they have it there. I think it was there, and I'm saying this, guys, based off the understanding that I have of a number of things. It was the drone ambassador of Dominica. It's interesting that we have one. You guys probably saw the interview that he was having with the whole system of drones and putting them down and all those kind of things there. It was a drone ambassador, I believe, that helped put this there. I'm saying I believe for legal reasons. Okay, guys, I am okay. All right then. So this whole thing that Chad is talking about, saying it's restricted, is a lie, and it's completely false. This has nothing to do with the laws of Dominica, absolutely nothing. And this is why he himself. Well, let me leave that out. But this is why this thing extends to Roseau and to Maho, because this is an international airport layout. Most airports in the United States, the smaller ones, do not have restrictions on them. They do not have restrictions on them. This was based for international airports only. I guess they didn't have the layout for the smaller ones, so they used this one right there for Dominica in this regard. So this is the understanding right there, guys. When I could fly my drone and whatnot, my drone didn't adhere to DJI regulations. My DJI is not, my drone is not a DJI for it to handle the regulations of DJI or listen to the regulations of DJI, which is why I can fly anyway. I have all the little drones. I could fly this. I have another one in the United States as well. It's a smaller one. It's very, very quick. And I could fly this thing without any hesitation whatsoever. It's not DJI. This is strictly for DJI. So Chad, a number of persons were saying, hey, Chad, put it up and whatnot. Guys, you have to understand. I have 10 years of drone flying experience. I've also been to some of the conferences that they have in return what is it what I'm looking for? In relation to this thing right there. I was actually in California when they were talking about this one. I went to the California one and I went to the New York one as well. This has nothing to do with the country's regulation, and this is why when people put information in your head that doesn't add up, you have to try to make sense out of it. Okay? It is absolutely irrevocable foolishness to believe that this is the law of Dominica when Dominica has no legislation. I mean, use your brain for once, Magwisa. No legislation in this regard to say, hey, this is illegal in Dominica. There's no illegal activities going on when it comes on to these things. Okay, guys? So I think we have to use our head for us to be able to move forward in this regard. This is an international layout. This is why it's so big right there. You think the airport is over there in Mao? You think the airport is all the way in Roseau? This is why I was able to do the Roseau shots and number of shots, because my drone, DJI drone I have, that I okay. Anyways, this is why I could actually utilize that very thing right there and my drone not land, because all restrictions were off. By the way, you can also, one of the reasons why they put this up there, especially this red mark, let me break it down for you guys. So you can actually fly in these areas sometimes, depending on the kind of drone you have or whatever, DJI drone that you have. You can actually fly in there, but you will fly low. However, if you pay some money, you can then increase your altitude. So if this is restricted, how can you pay money to then increase your altitude in this regard? This is also the same thing as well. You can pay money to then access this thing for a number of, I don't know how much days they're giving you, whatever, but they will give you a number of days or whatever in this regard, and you can fly anywhere there. You guys can go on Aerial Dominica and you'll see I flew in Kinfield and all those kind of places there. No problems whatsoever. You can also be in there. The only difference is you have to get a permit, an unmanned permit to fly inside there. Some people tend to do documentaries and this kind of things there. So when they get the documentary, they get the permit for them to be able to fly in this regard right there. So you can actually fly in the red zone right there. So when people come and talk their nonsense as if they know what they're saying, you have to challenge it. But the good thing is, at least Chad admitted that he doesn't always know the whole system right there. But the problem I have there is he made this thing as if it was law in Dominica, and there's literally no laws on the basis of utilizing drones, and there should be no laws on the basis, because this is not an international airport. The only place, not even Marigot, should have one. You know why? The reason why they put up these kind of things, because people were flying their drones all across the big, and there was a very, these places are very busy places when it comes on to flying and airline flying and all those kind of things there, radar picking up and all this kind of something there. So this is why they actually have this thing right there to prevent drones from flying or interrupting the busy airports. Dominica has no busy airport, but the only place I would say if you have to put one of these things is put it when the international airport reach. So we have no place for this thing right there. My drone doesn't adhere to any DJI protocols. There's no laws in Dominica that can say, oh, I'm not supposed to fly there and whatnot, whatnot. If they want to put up a law, I mean, they can never. It is impossible. Yes, Father. It is impossible that you put up laws to which right Roseau saying there's an airport there. There's no international airport there. Planes hardly fly in there in the first place. Oh, then can you have an international layout for a place that is hardly used? But anyways, guys, this is pretty much what I'm going to be saying in this regard right there. What are your thoughts, man? The whole gist of the whole thing right there. I'll be talking about some other things in terms of, I guess, my time being inside there. I think I had to be inside there. I know that's very confusing, but I think I had to be inside there. And I thank God for allowing me to go inside that place, man. For me to understand a bit deeper about how the system and how the people inside the system operate. Man, guys, my life is a very interesting thing, man. When things happen to me, sometimes I say, why me? But then, why not me? You know? And I think it's very important that we accept. I think God put me there for a very, very good reason, man. And I thank him for that. A lot of people are like, what? No, don't what? Guys, I thank God for making me go through that experience. And trust me, guys, it's not over. However, that dog that is guarding Skerritt's thing, he has my interests. He has my interests, guys. So we'll see how that goes. Keep it tuned. Stay locked. And of course, guys, I will see you guys in the next reaction videos. They prevented me from a number of things, man. A number of things. But I'll be talking about my experience being inside Behind these prison walls. Well, I was in prison, but behind these prison. Anyways, guys, I was blessing some vocals today, and I think my lack of proper sleep also contributed to my voice going down like this. Yeah, keep it low, guys. If you enjoyed this video, give this video a thumbs up. Also, share this video as well, guys, so other people can see in this regard as well. I'll see you guys in the next reaction video.